Have you ever wondered what secrets might be hidden in the DNA of the Irish people? Could their genetic blueprint hold answers to ancient migrations, lost civilizations, or traits that set them apart from the rest of the world? Ireland's history is filled with fascinating legends. But did you know that its DNA tells a story just as mysterious and compelling? Consider this: the Irish are among the most genetically distinct populations in Europe, and their DNA holds clues to some of the most ancient human migrations. But it's not just about the past. Scientists are still uncovering surprises in Irish genetics today, from unexpected links to other regions to traits that seem unique to the Irish people. In this video, we'll dive deep into the mysteries of Irish DNA. We'll uncover its ancient origins, explore how Viking and Norman invaders left their mark, and examine the genetic traits that make the Irish so unique. And, of course, we'll discuss the questions that still puzzle scientists, questions that might just change how we think about human history. So, what makes Irish DNA so special? Let's find out. The fascination with ancestry and genetics has skyrocketed in recent years. Millions of people around the world are using DNA testing kits to uncover their roots, and for many, tracing their heritage back to Ireland is a source of pride. But why is Irish ancestry so intriguing? What makes it stand out in the world of genetics? Ireland has a unique place in history. It's an island that has seen ancient migrations, invasions, and cultural transformations. Yet it has managed to preserve a distinct genetic identity. From the early settlers who first arrived thousands of years ago to the Vikings, Normans, and even the Gaelic clans, each chapter of Irish history is written in the DNA of its people. But there's more to this story than meets the eye. Scientists are discovering that Irish DNA isn't just a record of the past. It holds hidden mysteries that could reshape our understanding of human genetics. Studies have revealed genetic traits unique to the Irish, while others have uncovered unexpected connections to faraway lands. What if Irish DNA doesn't just tell the story of Ireland, but holds clues about ancient civilizations, human adaptation, and even the origins of modern Europeans? These questions matter because the secrets locked within Irish DNA aren't just about Ireland. They're about all of us. To truly understand them, we need to go back to where it all began: the ancient origins of Irish DNA. To understand the mysteries hidden in Irish DNA, we need to go back thousands of years to when the first humans set foot on the island of Ireland. Archaeological and genetic evidence suggests that Ireland's first settlers arrived around 10,000 years ago, during the Mesolithic period. These were hunter-gatherers, likely traveling from what is now Britain and mainland Europe as the Ice Age receded. But Ireland's story takes an intriguing turn during the Neolithic period, about 6,000 years ago. This is when farming communities began to settle the land, transforming it into a place of agriculture and construction. These early farmers built the famous megalithic structures like Newgrange, a monument older than the Egyptian pyramids. DNA evidence from ancient bones found at these sites has revealed a surprising link to populations from the Iberian Peninsula and even the Mediterranean. This suggests that Ireland's Neolithic settlers may have traveled vast distances, carrying not only their culture but also their genes. Fast forward to around 2,500 years ago, and we see the emergence of the Celtic culture that has become synonymous with Irish identity. For a long time, it was believed that the Celts arrived in Ireland through large-scale migrations. However, modern genetic studies challenge this idea. Instead of a sudden influx of new people, the Celts may have gradually influenced Ireland through trade, intermarriage, and the spread of cultural practices. This raises a fascinating question. Who were the true ancestors of the Irish? Were they a mix of these early farmers, hunter-gatherers, and migrating Celts? Or is there an even older, hidden population in the Irish genetic story that we have yet to uncover? Adding to the mystery, some genetic studies suggest that Irish DNA shares similarities with populations as far afield as the Basques in Spain, and even certain groups in Central Europe. Could these connections hint at forgotten migrations or shared ancestry from an ancient civilization? The origins of Irish DNA are as complex as they are fascinating, blending influences from across Europe with unique traits that have evolved on the island itself. But the story doesn't end there. Over the centuries, invaders and settlers like the Vikings and Normans added new layers to this genetic tapestry. As we move through Ireland's history, two key groups stand out for their influence on Irish DNA: the Vikings and the Normans. Both left their mark, not just on the culture and landscape, but also on the genetic makeup of the Irish people. The Vikings first arrived in Ireland in the late 8th century, raiding coastal monasteries and eventually establishing settlements. Places like Dublin, Cork, and Limerick began as Viking trading hubs. But the Vikings weren't just raiders. They integrated into Irish society over time, intermarrying with the local population and blending their culture with that of the Irish. Genetic studies have revealed traces of Scandinavian DNA in certain Irish populations, particularly in regions near historical Viking settlements. For example, higher percentages of Scandinavian ancestry have been found in people from coastal areas compared to those from inland regions. What's interesting is how this DNA doesn't overwhelm the Irish genetic identity but instead becomes a small, yet distinct, thread in its tapestry. Some of the Viking contributions to Irish genetics are even linked to specific traits. For example, the genetic markers for lighter hair and eye colors in some Irish individuals are often associated with Norse ancestry. This influence is subtle but undeniable, reflecting the lasting impact of the Viking presence. A few centuries later, the Normans arrived in Ireland, beginning with the invasion led by Richard de Clare, known as Strongbow, in 1169. The Normans, originally of French descent, brought their feudal system, architecture, and military prowess. Like the Vikings before them, the Normans also intermarried with the Irish, leaving behind a genetic footprint. While the Norman influence isn't as widespread as the Viking one, it's still visible in certain genetic markers found in modern Irish populations. These markers often overlap with DNA from northern France and Britain, reflecting the Norman origins. The Normans also helped shape Ireland's social structure, with their legacy still evident in some of the country's oldest families and surnames. The arrival of the Vikings and Normans didn't erase the original genetic makeup of the Irish. Instead, these groups added new layers to an already complex genetic story. What's remarkable is how Irish DNA has maintained its distinctiveness, even as these outside influences became part of its history. This blending of genetics raises another mystery. How did the Irish people preserve their unique identity while incorporating DNA from these invading groups? And what does this tell us about the resilience of Irish culture and heritage? As we continue, we'll explore how this blend of ancient origins and outside influences has shaped some of the most unique genetic traits found in the Irish population today. Irish DNA isn't just fascinating because of its history. It's also defined by unique genetic traits that set the Irish apart. From striking physical features to unexpected genetic quirks, these traits reveal a lot about how the Irish adapted to their environment and preserved their distinct identity over time. One of the most recognizable traits associated with the Irish is red hair. Ireland has one of the highest percentages of red-haired individuals in the world, with about 10% of the population having this fiery feature and up to 30% carrying the gene responsible for it. The red hair gene, known as MC1R, is a genetic mutation that originated thousands of years ago. Scientists believe it became prevalent in Ireland because of the island's cloudy climate. Red hair is linked to pale skin, which allows for better absorption of vitamin D in regions with low sunlight. This adaptation likely gave early Irish populations an evolutionary advantage, especially during long winters. Alongside red hair, freckles and pale skin are also common genetic traits among the Irish. These features are another adaptation to Ireland's often overcast weather. Pale skin absorbs sunlight more efficiently, which helps the body produce vitamin D. This adaptation was crucial in a time when diets lacked fortified foods, making sunlight a primary source of this essential nutrient. While these visible traits are celebrated, Irish DNA also carries genetic quirks that can lead to certain health challenges. For instance, Ireland has one of the highest rates of cystic fibrosis in the world. This genetic condition, caused by mutations in the CFTR gene, is more common in populations of Celtic descent. Another example is hereditary hemochromatosis, often called the Celtic curse. This condition causes the body to absorb too much iron, which can lead to organ damage if untreated. Studies show that this mutation is especially common in people of Irish and Northern European ancestry, possibly because it offered a survival advantage in times of poor nutrition. What's fascinating is how these genetic traits, whether beneficial or challenging, reflect the resilience of the Irish people. From adaptations to harsh climates to genetic quirks that have persisted through centuries, these traits tell a story of survival and identity. Taken together, these traits create a distinct genetic profile that is unmistakably Irish. They highlight how the island's unique environment, isolation, and history have shaped the people who call it home. But while many of these traits are well studied, there are still hidden mysteries in Irish DNA, connections and variations that continue to surprise scientists. As we move forward, let's dive into these unsolved questions and the secrets yet to be uncovered. Even with all the research into Irish DNA, there are still mysteries that scientists are struggling to explain. These unanswered questions highlight just how complex and fascinating the genetic story of Ireland truly is. One of the most intriguing discoveries in recent years is evidence of ancient genetic signatures in Irish DNA that don't match known populations. These ghost populations, as scientists call them, appear to have contributed to the Irish gene pool long before recorded history. But who were they? Some theories suggest these could be remnants of a prehistoric migration from an as-yet unidentified group. Others speculate they might represent an isolated population that lived in Ireland for thousands of years before being absorbed into the broader gene pool. The exact origins of these genetic markers remain a mystery, but they hint at a deeper and more complex history than we currently understand. Another puzzling mystery is how the Irish can have such distinct genetic traits while also sharing surprising similarities with neighboring populations. For example, while Irish DNA stands out as uniquely Irish, it also overlaps significantly with the DNA of Scots, Welsh, and even certain Northern Europeans. This paradox raises questions about the shared ancestry of these populations. Could this overlap be the result of ancient migrations across Europe? Or does it point to a common origin that predates the rise of Celtic culture? Some studies even suggest connections between the Irish and the Basques of Spain, fueling speculation about a long-lost Atlantic migration route. Recent excavations in Ireland have revealed ancient human remains with genetic profiles that challenge long-held assumptions. For instance, a study of bones found at megalithic tombs showed surprising genetic diversity, with some individuals carrying markers linked to the Middle East and Mediterranean. How did these genetic traits reach Ireland thousands of years ago, long before recorded trade routes? Could they be evidence of a forgotten migration or an early trading network that spanned continents? These questions remain unanswered, leaving scientists with tantalizing clues but no definitive answers. Uncovering the hidden stories within Irish DNA isn't just about solving puzzles. It's about understanding the broader human journey. These mysteries remind us that history is rarely as straightforward as it seems, and that every discovery raises new questions. As science advances, we may one day have the tools to fully unravel these secrets. But for now, Irish DNA remains a fascinating mix of the known and the unknown, a living testament to the island's rich and mysterious past. Next, we'll explore how these discoveries intersect with Ireland's cultural and historical narratives, giving new depth to the legends and traditions passed down through generations. Irish DNA doesn't just reveal scientific facts. It also sheds light on the cultural and historical narratives that have shaped Ireland's identity. From ancient myths to the traditions of Gaelic clans, genetics is offering new perspectives on Ireland's rich heritage. For centuries, Irish mythology has recounted stories of the island's early settlers. One of the most famous tales is that of the Milesians, said to be one of the last groups to arrive in Ireland, conquering the Tuatha De Danann, an ancient magical race. While these legends are steeped in fantasy, some researchers believe they might have a basis in real migrations. Genetic studies have revealed traces of ancient migrations into Ireland, aligning with the timelines suggested in these myths. For instance, connections between Irish DNA and the Iberian Peninsula might support the legend of the Milesians originating from what is now Spain. These findings blur the line between myth and history, suggesting that some oral traditions may have preserved kernels of truth over millennia. The Gaelic clans played a central role in Irish history, and their legacies can still be traced in the DNA of modern Irish populations. Studies have identified genetic markers linked to specific clans, such as the Onels, one of the most powerful dynasties in medieval Ireland. For example, A Y chromosome marker associated with the O'Neill clan is found in a significant portion of men in Ireland today, particularly in areas once controlled by the clan. This genetic continuity serves as a reminder of the enduring influence of these ancient families and their impact on Irish identity. The Irish diaspora, one of the largest in the world, has spread Irish heritage to every corner of the globe. Today, DNA technology is helping people of Irish descent reconnect with their roots. Through genetic testing, many individuals in the United States, Canada, Australia, and beyond have discovered links to specific regions or clans in Ireland. This reconnection goes beyond science, it's deeply personal. For descendants of Irish immigrants, understanding their DNA is a way to reclaim a piece of their family history and heritage. It's a powerful example of how genetics can bridge the gap between past and present. What makes these insights so compelling is how they blend the scientific with the cultural. DNA isn't just a sequence of genes. It's a record of the lives, struggles, and triumphs of the people who came before us. By combining genetic discoveries with Ireland's rich traditions, we gain a deeper appreciation of how history, culture, and identity are intertwined. As we move into the final section, we'll explore how studying Irish DNA can not only illuminate the past but also shape the future of science, medicine, and humanity itself. Irish DNA isn't just a key to understanding the past. It's also shaping the future of science and medicine. From unlocking genetic mysteries to advancing global health research, the study of Irish genetics has far-reaching implications that extend well beyond the island's shores. One of the most significant contributions of studying Irish DNA lies in the field of medicine. Certain genetic traits found in Irish populations provide valuable insights into human health and disease. For example, cystic fibrosis research. Ireland has one of the highest rates of cystic fibrosis in the world, making it a critical focus for genetic studies. Researchers have used this concentration to better understand the condition, leading to advancements in treatment that benefit people worldwide. Hereditary hemochromatosis, often referred to as the Celtic curse, this condition causes the body to absorb too much iron. By studying its prevalence in Irish populations, scientists have uncovered important information about its genetic origins and how it can be managed. Autoimmune diseases. Irish DNA has also been linked to research on conditions like Crohn's disease and multiple sclerosis, helping to identify genetic markers that could lead to better diagnostic tools and therapies. Beyond individual conditions, studying Irish DNA contributes to a broader understanding of population genetics. The relatively isolated gene pool of Ireland provides a unique opportunity to study genetic drift, adaptation, and the effects of migration. Insights gained from these studies help scientists understand genetic patterns in other populations, ultimately advancing personalized medicine. For example, by mapping the genetic markers of Irish populations, researchers can identify how certain traits evolved and why some genetic disorders are more prevalent. These findings can be applied globally, improving treatments and health outcomes for people around the world. Irish DNA also underscores the importance of preserving genetic diversity. While Ireland's relatively small population might suggest limited diversity, the island's long history of migrations and genetic blending has created a unique genetic profile. In a rapidly globalizing world, preserving genetic diversity is crucial for addressing future challenges like pandemics, climate change, and emerging diseases. Irish DNA serves as a reminder of how every population's genetic heritage plays a role in the larger story of humanity's resilience and adaptability. Excitingly, Ireland itself is becoming a leader in genetic research. Projects like the Irish DNA Atlas aim to map the genetic makeup of the population, providing a resource for medical and historical studies. These initiatives ensure that Irish scientists and institutions play an active role in uncovering the mysteries of their genetic heritage while sharing their discoveries with the world. Ultimately, studying Irish DNA is about more than just Ireland. It's about uncovering the threads that connect us all as humans. The unique genetic traits, the stories of migration, and the medical breakthroughs tied to Irish DNA highlight the interconnectedness of our species. As science continues to evolve, the insights from Irish DNA will contribute to building a healthier, more informed, and more connected future for everyone. Now, as we conclude, let's reflect on how the mysteries of Irish DNA go beyond genetics. They tell a story of resilience, identity, and the enduring legacy of the Irish people. Irish DNA is more than just a genetic code. It's a living archive of history, culture, and identity. It tells a story that begins with ancient migrations and continues through millennia of adaptation, resilience, and transformation. From the first settlers who braved new shores thousands of years ago to the Vikings and Normans who left their mark, Irish DNA reflects a unique blend of influences that make it one of the most intriguing genetic profiles in the world. But what makes Irish DNA truly remarkable are the mysteries it holds. Whether it's the genetic echoes of unknown ancient populations, the paradox of shared traits with neighboring regions, or the adaptations that define Irish identity, these secrets continue to challenge and inspire scientists. They remind us that the story of humanity is far from fully written, with every discovery bringing us closer to understanding our shared origins. At the same time, Irish DNA isn't just about the past, it's about the future. From advancing medical research to preserving genetic diversity, the study of Irish genetics has the potential to benefit all of humanity. It's a testament to how science, history, and culture intertwine to shape our understanding of who we are. So, as we reflect on the mysteries of Irish DNA, let's remember that these genetic threads don't just connect the Irish people, they connect us all. The study of Irish DNA is a celebration of resilience, identity, and the enduring human spirit. If you've enjoyed this journey into the hidden mysteries of Irish DNA, be sure to like and share this video with others who love exploring the intersection of science and history. Have a question or a theory about Irish DNA? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating explorations of the stories that connect us all.